Alright people, welcome back to Conquer and Commander. This is another game featuring my Karrthus Tyrant of Jund deck. For the complete deck list, go to puremtgo.com and look up my article series Conquer and Commander. Hopefully I'll also have a link to the deck list in the video description as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at who we're going up against. First up here is Lyzolda the Blood Witch. Usually has a decent amount of tokens so that she can sacrifice stuff, typically for card advantage as well. It's been a little while since I've seen a Lyzolda deck, so we'll see what she brings. Next up is Anax Cymede. Usually has a bunch of auras and tokens or other beaters as well. I'll be honest, I shouldn't say usually because I think this is the first time I go up against one of these decks. We also have Tajic, Blade of the Legion, and another Boros commander who's indestructible. A lot of times you'll see Tajic decks with a decent amount of wraths, and it sort of goes against the battalion effect that he has as well. So we'll see what this Tajic deck brings to the table. My opening hand only has 2 lands and a cultivate. If one of these lands had been a forest, I might have kept it specifically for the cultivate, but I do not. I send it back. Let's see. We'll stick this over here. I send it back for 4 lands and explosive vegetation, Decimate, and Lightning Greaves, and I keep it. So let's get to the action here. Lyzolda starts things off with a Terramorphic Expanse. I draw Putrefy, and I play my fetch land, going for Blood Crypt, because I need a swamp. Anax plays Windbrisk Heights, which I assume should mean they're going to have a bunch of creatures. Reassembling Skeleton is a nice sacrifice bait for Lyzolda. I go ahead and play the Lightning Greaves out there, drawing into Quicksilver Amulet. Tajic plays Dolmen Gate, which is interesting because Tajic himself is indestructible. Anax Cymede plays Howling Mine, which is going to help everybody out. Lyzolda plays her commander. There's Anax right there. I go ahead and Nature's Lore, which is what I drew into for a stomping ground. Fencing Ace is a double striker for Tajic. Paladin and Vec. Alright, let's go ahead and stop this right now. First of all, old school art, so props for that. But second of all, it's got protection from black and red, which is the majority of my deck. Fortunately, most of my guys fly over him, so I'm not so worried about that. Lyzolda doesn't attack. I draft Survival and Sky Shroud Claim, so I've got a bunch of ramp still going on. I play the Claim for a couple of Taiga and Bayou. I do not play Survival yet because I've got nothing really to toss to it. Mentor the Meek comes out to provide some card drawing action, and then Darksteel Axe, indestructible as well. Anax Cymede plays Explorer Scope and equips it onto the Paladin, who attacks me. So yeah, it's a guaranteed hit for him, but he doesn't get anything with the scope. Lyzolda sacrifices Reassembling Skeleton and then brings it back to draw a card. Alright. Lightning Reaver. At this point, Lightning Reaver is kind of a cool card, but not something I really want to deal with. I tend to be drawing some hate here and I don't want to take much more damage just because I've got a Putrefy kind of eating up space in my hand. Decimate is waiting for an enchantment to come out so that I can blow things up. I go ahead and decide to Putrefy the Reaver. And I do. So I draw into Chaos Warp. I go ahead and play a land and then Explosive Vegetation. And I do nothing. I was holding off because I wanted to use Chaos Warp in case anything else was really bothersome coming after me. Tajic plays Sunhome, which is always a good land for Boros decks. And then plays Audric. Audric is scary, but he doesn't have enough creatures for it yet. I point out Audric is cool. Of course it is. Hero of Bladehold, however, is Paladin goes after Lyzolda, is problematic due to the number of dudes it can pump out. Ogre Slumlord comes out, and then Innocent Blood gets cast, sacrificing a couple of dudes, which sets Tajic back on the Audric ability, and gives the Ogre Slumlord a bunch of 1/1 rats with Death Touch. So yeah, I didn't have any creatures yet, so I play my I didn't have any creatures yet, so he didn't get 4 rats. I draw into Mana Reflection, however. At this point, I decide, you know what, I'm going to just bring out Karrthus and start beating down a little bit. There it is. I put the Greaves on it just to make sure that it doesn't get condemned. And I attack Lyzolda. I attack Lyzolda because I expect that the rats are going to come after me, and a bunch of Death Touch rats are a pain in the ass as well. The rats being out there means that these guys are all going to come after me as well. And I decide, you know what, I want to get rid of Lyzolda as quickly as possible now. So, Tajic plays he suspends Benelush Commander with 4 counters on it, meaning he's going to continue bringing dudes out. All right. So once again, he goes to equip the hero, and I get rid of it with Chaos Warp. Chaos Warp reveals Dauntless Onslaught. I just don't want a whole mess of creatures coming after me, because I know that's exactly... I'm going to be the person that he was going to come in after. Island of Whack Whack is out, and that's problematic because most of my dudes are going to have flying. But it also... Chaos Warping... the Anax Cymede creature means that I go ahead and get some retribution with Revoke Existence, targeting my Lightning Greaves and exiling it. Alright, fine, whatever. Alright, so it's Lyzolda's turn. And she's going to promptly Fleshbag Marauder, which means that I'm going to have to sacrifice my Karrthus. Fine, giving Lyzolda more rats. And everybody comes after me. So I'm down to 25, and then Rakdos, the Defiler, comes out. No, not the Defiler, Lord of Riots. My bad. I'm not thinking of the right guy. So that's good times right there. A nice 6/6 flying trampler. Fine. I draw into Bilgrid and Hellkite. I play Mana Reflection and Survival. And I toss the Hellkite to grab Bladewing. And I cast Bladewing to get the Hellkite back. Bladewing the Risen, tons of fun. He also pumps my dragons when I allow him to. And I kill off a rat, the Slumlord, and Lyzolda. This also gives me 2 blockers to deal with Rakdos if Rakdos comes my direction. And it also means no more rat production either. Let's move the commander over here. That's fine, whatever. So I'm at 25 right now. There's a soldier token and core firewalker, which is problematic a little bit, and then mobilization. And I'm like, sweet. The mobilization means that Decimate's going to have a target, right? So I can start blowing stuff up. Well, it's right then when the Tajic player sends me a private message saying, hey, you and I can get rid of Lyzolda and Anax Cymede. You could use some help because you're at 25 and obviously getting targeted. And I tell him, well, you know, that's fine and all, except I was going to blow up your mobilization. But you know what? I'll go ahead and play the team up game because it's always nice to have a buddy. Linvala comes out, which means that I cannot pump my Bladewing. Sad times. But other than that, it doesn't affect any other creature out in play. You can see me, I'm saying, oh, Bladewing. Alright, Barter in Blood blows up a bunch of creatures, leaving Audric in play. And Rakdos attacks me, and I'm like, alright, fine. You know what? Whatever. Oh, and there's Reaper from the Abyss getting rid of Audric as well. I draw into Maelstrom Pulse and Oblivion Stone, and I do nothing. Fine. The Tajic player gets another soldier, and then Martial Coups. Oh, that's right. I was gonna, I was about to Maelstrom Pulse it, and I'm like, dude, like, I got to use my Decimate. I want to get rid of Rakdos and the Demon, and the Tajic player's like, no, don't worry about it. I've got it handled. Fine, no problem. I kind of trust him. So yeah, he Martial Coups for 5 soldiers. That's fine. Anax Cymede plays Jotun Grunt and Mystic Crusader. The Grunt is problematic because I want to start dumping stuff with survival into my graveyard. Lyzolda, Diabolic Revelations for 1 card. And I'm kind of curious as to what that card is. I'm assuming it's either a Wrath or an Oblivion Stone type card. Not 100% sure what it is. I draw into Wood Elves and Balefire Dragon. I cast the Wood Elves, which is dumb on my part. What I should have done was used the Wood Elves to survival into like Genesis or something like that. Like I said, dumb on my part. I cast Karrthus again. This isn't that difficult for me because, again, I've got Mana Reflection. And then I cast Karrthus, or I attack Lyzolda again because that means that I only need to hit her one more time with Karrthus to commander damage her out. Fine, whatever. Tajic gets another soldier token and does not attack anybody. Then plays into the Web of War and Thundersong Trumpeter. he admits he kind of screwed up because what he could have done was cast into the Web of War and then Tajic and then attacked with a bunch of these guys, but he falls behind. Okay, fine. Whatever. He uses Jotun Grunt, or Anax Cymede uses Jotun Grunt on his own graveyard. His Grunt has Vigilance because it's a soldier due to mobilization. Alright. And then he uses Shattering Spree on the Dolmen Gate and attacks the Lyzolda player. He does get... and then he casts Wojic Siren, pumping his dudes to beat up on the Lyzolda player. It's interesting that he doesn't try and attack me, but fine, whatever. I'm guessing he doesn't want any retribution. Lyzolda's at 13, and then she returns the reassembling skeleton back to her hand, or to play. Still don't know what Lyzolda tutored for. I'm guessing some sort of wrath. Instead, it's Vicious Shadows, which is problematic for me. It means that what I really need to do is kill Lyzolda quickly, because I'm at 19, Tajic's at 40, Anax Cymede's at 37. Lyzolda, however, is at 12. So first, I use Survival to discard my Balefire Dragon to get Anger, and then I put Anger in my graveyard with Survival to get Genesis, and then I put Genesis in my graveyard to get Stormbreath Dragon. Why am I getting Stormbreath Dragon? Because I want... Stormbreath Dragon has protection from white, and I want something to protect me from Tajic if Tajic comes out and goes after me. I use Genesis to grab Bladewing back. I draw into Mana Charge Dragon. I cast Bladewing. And that's when the Lyzolda player terminates my Karrthus, which will slow me down, obviously. However, I do have haste. All my creatures do have haste because Anger is in my graveyard. Fine. I use the Bladewing to get Boggart and Hellkite back. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Karrthus dying doesn't trigger Vicious Shadows because Karrthus doesn't actually die. He just goes to my graveyard or my command zone. However, killing off the Jotun Grunt to protect the Genesis and Anger in my graveyard means that Vicious Shadows does trigger. I do have 7 cards in my hand, and I drop from 19 down to 19 minus 7. 12. Yes. Fine. So then I play Garruk. I use Garruk to untap some land. And then I play Stormbreath so that I have some defense in case Tajic comes after me. I'm not 100% I mean, Tajic and I have been teamed up. That's fine. But I'm not 100% sure I can trust him. And then I attack Lyzolda with both my dragons and pump them to take Lyzolda out. So Lyzolda is gone. Stop. Anax Cymede's at 37. Tajic's at 40. And I am at 12. So, it's perfect timing for the Benelish Commander to come out. And in the Web of War, pumps the Soldier token, pumps the Benelish Commander when it comes into play. And then he goes ahead and casts Tajic, who gets pumped and hasty, and then puts the Darksteel axe on it. And Tajic comes after me, along with a couple of the soldier tokens. The commander goes after Anax Cymede, and Thundersung Trumpeter comes after me as well. So luckily he spreads out the damage a little bit. I am able to block Tajic with my Stormbreath Dragon. I do have enough mana untapped so that I can pump the dragon. Make him monstrous, dinging everybody else a little bit. Because Tajic has 7 cards in hand, and Anax Cymede have 6 cards in hand. And then my plan is, because he did attack with the Trumpeter, I will go ahead and block him with the elves and kill the Trumpeter off, because Trumpeter is slightly annoying. He does try to use the Trumpeter, but blockers have already been assigned, so there's that. Fine. Temple of Triumph to scry. Mystic Crusader comes after me. Knocks me to 4 because all the soldier tokens came after me directly. Nobody killed off Garrick. And then Hollowed Burial. So I'm fine with that. Wipe the board clean. Thank you. That's great, because now... Oh, and then he does... Anax Cymede also does play Spear of Heliod. However, I can't decimate anything right now because there's no creatures out. Fine. I decide, you know what? I'm going to get... I do have Mana Charged Dragon in my hand. And I'm going to get something back from my graveyard. What am I going to get? I'm going to get Balefire Dragon. I draw into Flameblast Dragon and Hull Breach. So first, what I'm going to do is... I don't want to deal with worrying about hasty dudes from the Tajic player, especially with mobilization out there. So I want to get rid of In the Web of War. But all this other crap's out there as well. And I decide, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to wipe the board with my Oblivion Stone. It's going to get rid of my Mana Reflection, but I'm going to tap everything so that I can save up some of the mana and cast all this stuff. So I go ahead and first I use Garrick's untap ability. Oh yeah, and I go for Urabrask too, which is unnecessary, and Scourge of Valkus. Fine, whatever. I use the Scourge to ding people, and my thought is, great, I've got enough dudes and mana here, or guys out here in power, to take out the Anax and Cymede player right now. Forgetting that Island of Whack Whack is out there. And Island of Whack Whack makes my Balefire Dragon have 0 power. Fine, whatever. You know what? That leaves Anax and Cymede at 6. Tajic's at 28. Tajic plays Core Skyfisher, bouncing a land, I think, and then plays Veterans Armaments. Equips the armaments on the Skyfisher, but that's not going to really help him out too much. Anax and Cymede concedes, seeing the right on the wall. I go ahead and use Genesis to get Urabrask out of my graveyard, and I play him, and I end up killing off the Core Skyfisher with my Flameblast Dragon, and put the Tajic player at 9. The reason I went for Urabrask was because I number one, I wanted all the creatures to come into play tapped, just in case he has some sort of other haste enabler that I couldn't think of. With Hull Breach, I could have just gotten rid of the in the Web of War. But you know what? I just wanted to get rid of everything that's on the grid that was in play, and I managed to attack and kill the Tajic player. So he concedes, actually, playing Lancers and Core. Turns out the Tajic deck was a budget deck. I didn't know that at the time, but after seeing some of this stuff, it looks like it is. But I managed to come back from 4 life to wipe the board and go from there. So, yay, Karrthus wins another game. Thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed this.